everybody, I am Danny Otto. Welcome into another episode of That Recap Show. Now, before we get into the episode, this would normally be when I say spoiler alert, but we are going to be talking about everything from the latest Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. So, in the off chance that you haven't seen that yet, pause this for 3 minutes, go check out that trailer, and then come enjoy the breakdown with us. Now, with that out of the way, let's start the show!
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
Joining with me for all of the breakdown and Easter eggs that we've found in the latest Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, it's Johnny Rico!
What, my dudes? What's up, dude?
What is up? Everything happened. The internet went crazy. I hope we're breaking records for this trailer too. I know they set up a private movie theater screening where Tom Holland was there and wow. Benedict Cumberbatch. It's insane. This is a trailer and they packed the theater for that. But the trailer, I mean, it's worth it. Like, I remember I've watched the trailer probably, I don't know, 10, 15 times at this point. And watched, the infinite amount of breakdown videos that have already been released from it. It's incredible. I love every second of it. The only thing I can compare it to is after I finally finished watching it like over and over again, because I actually stopped mid-conversation to watch it when I figured out that it was out. And it was like...
Does anyone have any orange slices?
I watched this too many times in a row. I'm dizzy.
I love that.
What are your initial reactions for this trailer? Like, what did you like? What stood out like for you right away?
Well, the first thing that stood out is that we really got like a really more laid out groundwork for the story, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We kind of see that there's a little bit more to what's going on with the villains and why they're here in the first place. As far as Peter's motivation and like how to deal with them. We get to see a little bit glimpses of J. Jonah Jameson, just not on like a screen. He's actually going to be in the movie and for real. There's just so much to unravel from this movie trailer.
From the trailer, it's not even a movie yet. It's just
not a movie yet.
It's a 3-minute.
I can't even imagine what it hasn't shown us yet, and I'm really excited. Like December can't get here quick enough.
I know. We're talking about a 3-minute trailer. The movie itself is going to be like over 2.5 hours. I cannot wait. So you want to get into big takeaways?
Let's get into it, man.
Awesome. All right. First big takeaway that I took from this, and I kind of took it from the first trailer a little bit, but this really kind of actually showed us that, Doc Ock might not be on the villain side. We may actually have the Doc Ock that had kind of changed already and shown remorse for the stuff that he had done in the original Spider-Man 2. I think like what we can connect the dots with is that it all takes place with the nanotech from the Iron Spider suit kind of integrating into his arms. Because if you remember from the original Spider-Man 2, it was the inhibitor chip. When that malfunctioned, the arms were kind of in control. Yeah. And so I think it's going to have to do something with the nanotech from the Iron Spider suit getting integrated and kind of helping bypass that sentience so that we actually have Otto Octavius now more or less in control and can say like, holy shit, right, I am not in the right place. Let's figure this out.
There's that one shot in the trailer where he's already kind of got Peter captured, and then like right as like he's about to go for the kill, Peter shows his face and he's kind of like, wait, you're not like the Peter Parker that I know. And Otto's always kind of had a good heart,
right,
at the core of his character. I think that's what's kind of what made him such a great villain that stands the test of time to begin with. So I'm really interested to see how his character bounces off with Peter, because I think Peter's he's got a good heart too. So I think that Peter Aka's gonna. And you know what I think it's gonna be almost gonna be like is like the Spider-Man game, like the relationship that Otto Octavius and Peter had in that game.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a good base to kind of lay groundwork for what's gonna happen here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so what was your first big takeaway?
Okay, so we see Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. We even get to hear him speak in this trailer, which is pretty badass. But there's a really quick, like, blink and you miss it shot of what looks to be another Green Goblin in this movie. Now, there's to be like one of probably 4 different things here. It could be, sort of like how Doc Ock has been kind of like upgraded with Iron Man nanite technology, and then how Electro looks a lot different. They all look kind of upgraded from their original looks if you kind of look at them closely. But I'm wondering if that is Willem Dafoe's kind of like more enhanced, or he doesn't need that silly helmet anymore. It could be Dane DeHaan's Harry that comes in and is, he's back because they got to bring in another Amazing Spider-Man universe villain. Maybe there is a Harry in this universe that we haven't met. That's kind of the least likely, but throw some spaghetti at the wall, see if it sticks. You know what I mean? And then my 4th option was, of course, Ned, who of course could be the Hobgoblin. That's kind of the other, like the second furthest stretch that I'm thinking, but I think that'll be a really cool character arc for him. That's what I've always been saying. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what that small little second goblin is. If it's a second goblin or if it's just one goblin.
I tend to think that it's 2 different goblins. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's our Ned, only because, and I could be way off. There could be tons of Mr. X in this trailer, which I'm already expecting Mr. X, and we'll get to that for the next one. But we see Ned trying to save MJ like later on. It seems like it's later on in the movie at least, and he's still Ned.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that it's still like our Ned, at least our universe Ned, doesn't change to Green Goblin. Now, that's not to say that there's not another variant of Ned that becomes the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. I just don't think it's our. It's,
maybe.
Yeah, I just don't think it's our Ned. You ready for the last big takeaway?
Yeah, let me hear what you got, Danny.
All right, for our 3rd big takeaway, it's boom. Brazilian reveal. That is right. Thanks to the Sony Brazilian Twitter account, we got a little tiny variant in the Spider-Man trailer. This particular variant confirmed one thing. Drax is in the movie. Because what it shows is there's a little bit longer of a scene where our Spider-Man, our Tom Holland Spider-Man, is diving towards a team of enemies. Basically, we have Electro, Sandman, the Lizard. That's the only ones we can see. But
it's essentially the Sinister Six, Danny.
Exactly. The Sony Brazil trailer, it doesn't stop like that. Our normal trailer stops as they're all kind of diving. That one goes a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man seemingly get punched or kicked from an invisible character.
Oh, yeah. His neck stretches, too. Like, it's...
Yeah.
So, and by the way, someone's getting fired probably for that cut of the trailer, unless that was deliberate. That's the whole thing. Like, did they do that on purpose? You just...
Maybe they just wanted to confirm Drax was in the movie.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye. Watch.
Maybe. Or Ant-Man. Or Ant-Man.
Or the Wasp.
That's some pretty powerful punches, a little dude.
Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. Nah, I mean, we're joking. Obviously, someone was digitally taken out of it, just like in Endgame when they were digitally taking out characters in some of the scenes that were in the trailers and stuff like that. I mean, all signs point to it's probably either Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire, because why else would they CGI it out? But it's just funny to speculate and see the internet go crazy because everybody was going, John Cena's in the movie, or everybody was going, Drax obviously is in the movie.
I have a pretty wild one that could be I think there's a few characters edited out of that scene, not just Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield part. I think there's some possibly another villain. Venom could possibly be somebody that is, because
The only thing I heard against that, and here's the only reason why I tend to think that he's probably not in the movie, is because there needs to be an arc of why Venom and Eddie go to New York and end up like either disliking the team of villains or disliking Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be put into that fight. And I just don't think I just don't think there's enough time in this movie to be able to devote a storyline to that also. You know what I mean? I just think it's
now when.
well, yeah, but I just think it's just so much for them to be able to do in one movie.
Really
Even a 2.5 hour plus movie, I just think that's a little too much, and that's the only reason why I don't think it's Venom.
It's kind of wild to say in a movie that might include every Spider-Man ever that Venom is just going to be too much.
Yeah, that's the line. That's the line.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
That is the line.
All
right, you want to get to predictions?
Let's do it.
Awesome. All right, you kick us off.
Okay. So at the end of the trailer, we get a familiar shot, like we talked about, of MJ falling in a very Gwen Stacy. In the very first Spider-Man, it was just like MJ falling. And, you know, Spider-Man's always got to go and jump to catch his lady, you know? But if you remember in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, spoiler if you didn't see those movies a long time ago, but F you if you didn't see them. Gwen, unfortunately, does not get caught in time, and she meets her demise at the end of the movie. It's one of the more heartbreaking Marvel scenes probably ever, in my opinion. But if Andrew Garfield is in this movie, and if he's going to be in this particular battle sequence, I think that it'll be Andrew Garfield Spider-Man that will save our MJ and ultimately redeem himself in a way. I don't think it's obviously going to fully recover that hole in his heart, but it's going to give him a little bit of a healing, a bit of healing, that knowing that he saved someone else from a same fate.
Right.
So I think that's going to be a really powerful story note if they can do something like that. But yeah, man, there's just so much in this movie that I'm excited for. Danny, what's your prediction?
Oh, I have so many. So I'm going to do a couple little ones. So I think we're going to have something emotional happen. So someone is going to die.
Danny.
Yeah, someone's dying here. And I mean, we can kind of eliminate people that I think aren't going to die. I don't think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to die. There's too many articles about there's a potential for another Spider-Man trilogy going on, and I just don't think he's going to die in this one. Not to say that he might not die in the future, and then Miles Morales will take over and stuff like that, because cool. But I just don't think he's going to die. I don't think MJ's going to die. I think just like you, I think either Holland Spider-Man's gonna save her if the other two guys aren't in there, or just like you said, I think it's perfect redemption for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to come sweeping in at that last second, grabbing her and kind of just going, oh hi, like, you know, just like a weird entrance like type of thing, and he saves her. But and I don't think Ned's gonna die.
No.
Here's who I think.
Don't do that.
First one on the list, I think Happy Hogan. I really think this is where we lose Happy Hogan. And the reason is there's that shot where he's sitting in a car. And then there's another shot later, like another real quick shot where it looks like the same setting of the car that he was sitting in with a car like exploded and stuff like that. So I really think this might be a scene where one of the Green Goblins, if not Willem Dafoe, then Harry Osborn or whoever is the other goblin, one of the goblins, I think, goes to kill Aunt May. And I think we see Aunt May running. We see Tom Holland's Spider-Man trying to deflect a pumpkin bomb. I think this is all the same scene. And I think he finds out Green Goblin is going to kill Aunt May. He goes to save her. And he knows that he can only save her, or he is able to save her, and they're running to save Happy Hogan, and his car blows up like right in front of them. And I think that's
probably what spawns the "I can't save her for one" line.
Exactly.
Whether that happens before or after Happy may or may not die remains to be seen. Which I think it makes sense. I think that's a character that has served his overall purpose of a role in the MCU, especially with Tony gone as well.
Yeah.
Because I think what else can you really do with him at this point? But yeah, it sucks. I love Jon Favreau. So
I know,
don't wanna not see
same.
him.
I don't want him to. I'm just saying.
Go do your thing, man. Go do Star Wars. That's okay.
Mandalorian season 3. No,
back in there, baby.
But not only that, I think, I mean, like I've already said this. I think we're definitely getting at least one other Spider-Man. Now, what would be absolute batshit crazy? Throwing the stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks? I want everybody from the Spider-Verse. I want the 3 original Spider-Men. I want a Miles Morales. I want
That'd be
everybody.
a credit scene.
I want Spider-Gwen. I want, like, let's just go. Live action Spider-Verse. Boom, everyone. But more realistic, I think we're going to get more than one Spider-Man. I think we're going to get all 3 because I think some of the leaks are already being proven that they were true.
Yeah.
Through the scaffolding and other shots that we were saying originally were fake, I think are real. The last smaller prediction that I will say is I think there is an enemy that has been CGI'd out of any of these scenes. And I think that enemy is none other than Mysterio.
Ooh, yep.
I think it's going to round out the Sinister Six with Mysterio. And I think that's going to be a big WTF, holy shit moment. Like, we find out he never died, and we find out that he's doing this. He gets the villain team together. Like, there's something with him, and I think there's a reason why we haven't heard anything. We don't know, and we don't know if there's this other villain, but it makes no sense to have 5 enemies and be able to completely round out the Sinister Six and to not show or tease another enemy. So I think we're getting that 6th enemy, and I think it's Mysterio.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with you there, Danny. If you can't just be like, hey, it's the Sinister 5.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they were going to do 3 enemies, it's one thing. Like, they're not going to like hide 3 more enemies, but at the same time, if they're doing 5 enemies, it's like, come on.
And we haven't heard anyone talk about Paul Giamatti's Rhino, so it has to be the other one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be fine with either, but honestly, that one makes more sense.
It would super mess up everything because we know Mysterio was able to fool Tom Holland's Spider-Man for a good part of the movie, and I get that he has his Peter tingle now, but at the same time, like, if Mysterio like orchestrated everything behind the scenes, like, that could be it. The other thing is, though, and I'm just having this thought right now, and I apologize to anyone who thinks this is going a little too long. What if this is where we get the introduction of the Kingpin?
I have another theory on that one that we might cover in another video.
But anyway, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments below. What did you think of the trailer in general? And what are you expecting to see come December 17th? It could not get here quick enough. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to let you know about every new video release on the channel. Bye, everybody!